Welcome back to the 2-minute warning, back on the topic of the NFL today. Today we are talking Baker Mayfield and the Cleveland Browns and whether or not Baker Mayfield can win an MVP in the 2021 season. We've talked a lot about the Browns just last night. We talked about them signing Jadeveon Clowney. They built their defense. They got the best backfield in the league. They've got the tools. Can Baker be MVP caliber? That's what's on the table today. But before we get into this video, question of the day, kind of an interesting one. A few weeks ago, we did Aaron Donald versus Myles Garrett in a fight. Who are you taking? We're actually going to redo that same question in the light of Aaron Donald's recent fight at a club where he beat someone up seemingly pretty bad. It seems kind of funny, but if he actually broke the law, then this could be serious for Rams and for him and the Rams. But anyway, part 2, round 2, Aaron Donald versus Myles Garrett. Who you taking in a fight? Comment below, and at the end of the video, you'll hear Jay and I's opinion. But Jay, do you think Baker's got what it takes to win an MVP?
It's tough because I think Baker is surrounded by what it takes. Best back on the field in the NFL, Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb, although that might take away from him, it does help manage the game clock and create Baker Mayfield an efficient game plan. He does have the receiving core pending and healthy OBJ, and to me, OBJ will be the biggest factor in Baker Mayfield's MVP case. But aside from that, he has Jarvis Landry. They re-signed Rashard Higgins. They have a great double tight end threat in Austin Hooper and David Njoku. Offensive line is highest paid in the NFL, and with that comes probably the best offensive line in the NFL. And also big thing is Kevin Stefanski, Coach of the Year for Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield going into year 2 with Kevin Stefanski is a huge deal because throughout Baker's first 3 years, he's always had inconsistent game plans, dealing with Freddie Kitchens. That wasn't the right guy. Now he's got a consistent head coach that is looking to be the franchise coach to help take the Browns to a possible Super Bowl. So around him, the weapons are there, the consistency is there, the organization is there, the game plan is there. However, I just can't bite the bullet. I can't swallow the pill on saying Baker Mayfield is MVP just yet. A lot of people don't even know if he's top 10 quarterback in the NFL. And to me, it's going to be hard to go from, even if he is your top 10, there's just no way you have Baker Mayfield in your top 5. There's no way. To me, he's right around that 8 through 12 mark, and I just don't see him making that type of jump to a number 3 conversationalist MVP. I don't see him doing what Josh Allen did last year, where he went from kind of being top 8 to now being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I just don't see Baker making the same jump, and I just can't swallow the pill of Baker Mayfield winning MVP over a Mahomes or a Rodgers just yet. It's just way too soon, and those other guys are just way too good.
Yeah, so I like Baker Mayfield a lot. I've said this a lot, that the Browns, Jay just mentioned it, from coach to defense to backfield to O-line to offensive weapons, tight ends, the receivers, everything the Browns have really put together really well, including Baker Mayfield. Like I said, I'm a fan, but I think I'm going to have to agree ultimately that I don't think he's ready to win MVP. When you're in a conference with Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen, and of course in the league, you've got Stafford on your team that I think will be a lot better. Still Tom Brady, still Aaron Rodgers. There's just Lamar Jackson also in the AFC. There's just too many good players that are more of the team's most valuable player or the league's most valuable player than Baker Mayfield will be. I think even right now the question is more so, will the Browns want to re-sign him after next year, then will he win an MVP? Yeah. So there's just too many question marks around Baker Mayfield right now to say he can win league MVP. Looking at the last couple of league MVPs, Aaron Rodgers threw 48 touchdowns, Mahomes threw 50, Lamar only threw for 36, but that's still it's still 9 more than Baker's ever thrown, and Lamar Jackson is just in his own class of player, the way he runs the ball, and it's just so electric. So looking at the past league MVPs, Baker Mayfield, I don't think it's possible for him to play to that caliber. I've gone over it several times in other videos, the way I think the Browns are going to win football games, and that's Baker Mayfield taking a step down from the limelight and just playing efficient football. So nothing about what I think will bring success for the Browns is Baker Mayfield having an MVP season. If he gets to the situation where Baker's going to need to play like Patrick Mahomes for the Browns to win games, then that's when Baker's going to turn the ball over 21 times like he did his rookie year, and it's just not going to work out. So I just think it's best for the Browns if Baker does not win MVP.
Yeah, and what comes with being MVP, typically it's probably a top 2 team in the NFL. It's usually the team that gets a first-round bye in the playoffs. Yeah. The quarterback that took them there is, in the case of MVP, and the guys that just kind of fell to a wild card spot or even a division winner of 3rd or 4th seed typically isn't the quarterback that wins it. And while I think the Browns, in my opinion, are a serious AFC championship, they're bound for AFC championship and are a serious Super Bowl threat, I don't see Baker Mayfield going 14. I did kind of predict
Yeah.
I don't see them having a better record than the Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills. I like the Browns to go 14-3, but I still think the Chiefs will top them and the Bills might top them, and I just think them possibly being a third seed in the AFC is going to hold them back a little bit. And like I said, the biggest factor is going to be OBJ. Matt Ryan, kind of the best guy Baker Mayfield can really compare himself in MVP cases, was the recent guy to win it comparable to Baker Mayfield, because you can't compare him to an Aaron Rodgers or Brady.
I don't think many people saw that coming out of Matt Ryan that year.
Or Peyton Manning. But a big part of Matt Ryan was, of course, Julio Jones. Not to say Julio Jones did absolutely everything, but without Julio Jones, Matt Ryan isn't winning that MVP by any means. And I think the same thing goes from Baker with OBJ. He needs a talented receiver that has the potential to be a top 5 receiver. I don't want to say carry him like I did with Matt Ryan and Julio, but give him the big boost that he's looking for. Baker Mayfield, in his past 3 seasons, he had 27 touchdowns, 22 touchdowns, and 26 touchdowns. He's got to get that 40 touchdown mark to really be in the MVP conversation. If you just look at the statistics, most guys throw for over 40. Yeah, Lamar Jackson's a rare case, but he might have combined for 40. I doubt he got that high, but Rodgers had over 40 last year. Mahomes had 50 the year he just won it 3 years ago. And just the way we're going, even with the 17th game, he sure as hell needs to throw 40 touchdowns if he wants to even be in the conversation. He's never even broken 30 before. So like I said, it's too big of a jump going from a top 8 to 12 quarterback to an MVP and going from below 30 touchdowns to over 40 touchdowns. I just don't see it happening just yet unless OBJ becomes a top 3 receiver.
Yeah, this on a more positive note, Baker I don't think is MVP caliber, but I think that speaks a lot of how good I think the Browns are and will be. Again, Baker Mayfield needs to step down out of the spotlight and just play efficient football. I've said it a lot of times. I think that really speaks of how good the Browns are and can be, that we don't need anything but a average season from their, or we need more than an average season from their quarterback, but we don't need any spectacular MVP performance out of their quarterback for their defense, their receiving core, and their backfield to carry this team, I think, very realistically to the AFC Championship. So this doesn't mean that the Browns are not in good shape for the future. I think that this means actually quite the opposite. They're in very good shape for the future because we are looking at this team that has put themselves on the map for winning the AFC 100% on the table with a quarterback that we are agreeing has really no shot in the MVP conversation. So I don't think this means that you Browns fans should not have faith in Baker Mayfield. I think that's the opposite. I think he can become what the Browns need, which is a talented quarterback that is just really good at managing the football game and keeping turnovers off the field.
Yeah, both of those are great points. I mean, you kind of want him to be what Jimmy G was for the Niners just a few years ago. Obviously, if you look at present day, they're kind of replacing him, but where you just let the roster win it and the quarterback is just managing the game. Not calling Baker a game manager, but I'm just saying don't lose the games for the Browns.
Yeah, and I think calling a quarterback a game manager
different, like a mediocre
has
word
become like a negative thing.
Yeah,
and that's kind of what I'm saying about Baker, but in the best way that I can possibly say is that he needs to manage the offense, use his backfield to his fullest advantage, and keep the turnovers to a minimum and throw the ball, make a couple key throws here and there, which is what I call managing the game. But I don't want to call him a game manager as a bad thing. I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, we need a word between game manager and carrying the team.
Yeah.
It just doesn't seem to be middle ground.
Yeah.
But like I said, Jimmy G is a good, I don't want to say role model for Baker Mayfield, but a similar plan, route, kind of just object you want to aim towards. And also, like you said, just because Baker, we're saying he doesn't win MVP, this doesn't mean he's a bad quarterback by any means.
We already agreed, I think, that Baker
10.
is the future. We put him in the top 10, and we said he's the future of the franchise. At least I did.
So, exactly. Baker, we can't knock on him too much, and I'm trying not to knock on him at all, but I just can't compare him to Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen, the guys that are carrying teams. And like I said, just because he's not an MVP doesn't mean he's not great. I mean, Drew Brees, Big Ben, they didn't win MVPs. Russell Wilson, they didn't win MVPs, but what they did win is Super Bowl rings. I'm going to take that over an MVP any day. Baker Mayfield, just worry about winning the football games, not putting up the numbers to satisfy everyone else.
Yeah, with the exception of 2019 Mahomes, you look at Lamar, who went out first round. You look at Rodgers last year, who fell short in the NFC Championship. MVP does not mean the world, doesn't really mean a whole lot. I just don't think Baker is built to be MVP right now, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah, even Mahomes MVP year, I think that was the year he lost in the AFC
Was it?
Championship. I'm pretty sure 50 touchdowns, 5,000 yards. I'm pretty sure that's.
I think you're right. Well, it shows here was 2018 was MVP year, so 2019 he won it. So yeah,
it doesn't mean everything. I'm taking winning over a trophy any day of the year. I'm taking a ring over a trophy. That's
100%. Sure. And I think that this Browns team is one that's built for a Super Bowl championship rather than a flashy 17-win season, which I guess is also possibly on the table. But I'm looking at like this team to not come out as a 1 seed in the AFC, like Jay said, but up there and then make a deep playoff run. And I think that's certainly on the table, even though Baker Mayfield I just don't think is MVP caliber.
Fair enough, me too.
100%. All right, guys, that's as far as our take about Baker and the MVP conversation. But back to the question of the day. Jay, you got round 2, Aaron Donald, Myles Garrett. Who are you taking?
I chose Myles Garrett round 1, and I got to say this picture is definitely influencing me. I mean, we're obviously bringing it up for a reason. But until I get a little more info, I'm going to stick with my defending champ, Myles Garrett. Maybe if it comes out and that damage was done by just 1 hit, that might change our opinion. But just not knowing anything, I'm going to stick with my champion, Myles Garrett, to take on Aaron Donald.
Aaron Donald's going to watch this video. You're screwed. Yeah, in hopes, just anticipation that Aaron Donald maybe sees this video at some point, I'm going to go with him because simply you don't go against Aaron Donald. He just look at him. There's really no arguing to do for Aaron Donald. He's Aaron Donald, and that's why I got him taking this fight. Guys, thanks for watching. 2-minute warning.